UFC 315 a few days away, guys. We're going to Canada. And when I say we're going to Canada, I mean we're definitely staying in the States and just watching UFC 315 at home. That's what we're doing because no one's going to Canada. Funny enough, I have been to Montreal, and that is where the fight will be taking place, guys. We have Bilal Muhammad versus the up-and-comer Jack Della Maddalena. And we have quite a few good fights. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm the MMA Casual. I give you bets, predictions, picks, and this video is coming out a little earlier in the week. We're trying to beat the odds, all the swings, and I think there's a lot of potential this card. I'm trying to find the holes. A lot of plays are now coming out, a lot of the round lines, and there's still some fights that I don't see on my app. Um, should be an exciting card. I mean, not the craziest card. I'm not gonna say it's anything like UFC 314, but we're here. We're fans and we're gonna make some money. So let's track 2025. We're up 38.7 units. Last week, UFC Des Moines. Thank you, Jillian Robertson. We hit a plus 1100 bet, and because of that, we were up 1 unit. I had a few good parlays going, and 3 of them in the main card got dumped on. We would have been up like 6 units for the night. They were so promising. They were round lines, yeah, mostly round lines. I messed up, and it is what it is. We were still up, and if you don't want to be up, I don't know what to tell you. I'll take up 1 unit than losing any money, and I'll take up 38 units for the year than being down anything. So, long story short, guys, I'm going to break down this full card, starting off with the prelims. Again, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe, guys. Comment, like, do whatever. It helps the algorithm. Be mean. I don't care. Be nice. I love it. It's all good. But if you want my exclusive bets, guys, go to my Instagram, $4.99 a month. I have some things planned for you. Trying to get a whole subscription out where you guys get text, the whole 9 yards. We're moving up in the world. But, it's harder than it seems. I'm just getting a few things organized. Want to do this properly. I love the support, guys. I appreciate you. And let's get right to it. Like always, I'm not texting. I'm not on Facebook. I have my phone open because I speak live odds when I make this video. And of course, I'm not going to tell you exactly where I'm laying chalk right now. I haven't even set up all my bets yet. What I am going to tell you is where I think there's value, because that's what we do. We don't just blindly bet my picks. That's stupid. We find value, guys. That's the most important thing when gambling. Never forget that. Either way, starting off, Katona, Beksat, Almakhan. Guys, this is going to be an interesting fight and quite the fight to start the actual card. I'm excited for it. I think this is going to be good. We have a durable, good striker in Katona, someone with a lot of output, someone who has the cardio to go for an intense 15 minutes, and he's fighting someone who's not really proven just yet, but has a lot of hoopla around them, because that someone's fought Umar Nurmagomedov, and that guy caught Umar Nurmagomedov. However, he got dominated for 14 minutes after that. So you're kind of in this place where, wow, this guy dropped Umar Nurmagomedov. He had him, but he still lost the fight. And now you're putting him up against a crafty veteran, Katona. I like saying Katana. I'm pretty sure it's Katona. Who's going to be in there for a long 15 minutes. And he's Canadian with that home court advantage, home field advantage, home octagon advantage, whatever you want to say. And when you look at these lines, you have Brad at plus 150 and you have Beksat at minus 185. And if you ask me, I'm going to go the Beksat way. I think Beksat has some things in his pocket. I think Beksat is better than we think. I mean, when you see a fight from him and Umar Nurmagomedov, I mean, we're talking about there's levels to this shit. The fact that he went 15 minutes with Umar, even though he did get handled, right? He did have his moment, but he got handled. I'm sorry, but Brad and Umar are not the same type of fighters. And yes, we have some durability in Brad. Yes, we have some UFC experience in Brad, but Beksat's the real deal. I think I want to lean that he's going to have the bigger moments in this fight. I think he has the power to sit down Brad, even though I have mentioned several times that Brad is extremely durable. Am I laying chalk on this fight? Not necessarily. I haven't decided just yet. Again, Beksat may be in a parlay at minus 185. Now, the one thing I'm going to say, I don't have round lines. I don't have anything for this fight yet. There's literally nothing on my app. What I am going to say is I think I really do like a plus 3.5 I like the point spread for Brad because I could see him taking a round. I could see him taking an early round just because his volume, or I could see him taking a late round just in case Bexa doesn't have the output like Brad does later in the rounds. I'm not scared of Brad, finishing this fight because at the end of the day, he doesn't really have power in much of his punches. He doesn't really sit on anything. So I'm comfortable with him maybe winning a round. And for those of you who don't know, plus 3.5, all you're betting on is that basically he loses at least a 29-28. He's within 3 points when it comes down to the judges' scorecard. Right now, if he loses unanimous 30-27, we lose that bet. But I want to see what that looks like. I'm gonna assume it's minus like 150, minus 100. I know these odds makers know what they're doing, but that's what I like about Brad. I wouldn't go full money line. I thought about it just because I am going to lay on the Begsat side, but minus 185 might be a little heavy for that. Maybe it's a parlay worthy type of thing, but that's what I'm saying. I say Begsat. I hope within the distance I could see a knockout, but I could also see the decision. But the decision gets me a little nervous. Like I said, Brad has the volume. Anyway, let's move forward. I yapped a little bit there. I'm sorry, but I like to be thorough. Next up, Mr. Daniel Santos coming off a layoff. And I want to say 2 years and just pulling out of every fight he can. He's also moving up. He's no longer in bantamweight, and he's moving up against Jung Young Lee. Guys, this fight doesn't make a lot of sense to me because Jung Young Lee was an underdog like a day ago. And my dumb bald ass didn't, it didn't, the sirens didn't hit me saying that's gonna freaking flip. I was just like, damn, Leah's an underdog. Damn, okay. And I kept moving and I let it go. And today it's a pick 'em. And actually, we're shifting. Jung Young Lee minus 115, Santos minus 105. Guys, I'm all over Lee here. There's not a part of me who likes Santos here. Santos, classic, shoot a box fighter. Classic, scrappy motherfucker. Scrappy. And he has some skills downstairs. But Jung Jun Lee, not only is he significantly bigger, 3 inches taller, and what's that reach advantage? He's going to end up with a 7-inch reach advantage, 6 to 7-inch reach advantage. And Jung Young Lee has hands, and Jung Young Lee isn't going to get taken down. He has fantastic takedown defense. So what I think Jung Young Lee needs to do is stay away from a scrappy fight. I think he needs to keep his distance. I think he needs to use his range. If the takedown comes, get up. Jung Young Lee could have a takedown of his own in this fight, but don't fall into Daniel Santos making this a scrappy fight. He does have some power in his hands. Don't fall for it. He's coming up a division. He's the smaller guy now. Don't let him dictate the fight. I think Lee has every opportunity to dictate this fight, keep the distance, even potentially find the finish, man. I think he could piece up Daniel Santos. And then again, we haven't seen him in 2 years. I'm not going on the Santos side. Guys, I don't think anybody should. I think that's a really degenerate type of bet. However, I love me some degenerate betting. Just not I'm not swinging there. Not doing it. So, yeah, Lee's the pick. All right. Ooh-wee. 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 Talking about degeneracy. Here we are. Marc-Andre Barriault, Bruno Silva. Guys, this is rough. Marc-Andre coming off 2 KO losses. Bruno Silva is just Bruno Silva. I mean, quite the stretch of shit he's had. And he's not getting any better. And he hasn't proven that he wants to be here. He went ahead and said he didn't want to be here anymore. So I guess he's finishing off his contract. Marc-Andre at least wants to be here. And I think this is a mess. I initially had a parlay I posted. I told my subscribers, I'm sorry, but I'm taking this away. I was just watching film and I noticed that we potentially have a little bit of a glass chin here for Mark. And I just didn't feel comfortable because I do think Bruno Silva's live early for a knockout, some sort of finish, or actually anytime, but mostly in the first round. Other than that, Marc-Andre should win this fight. In my opinion, he's the better fighter. He's a more motivated fighter. He's a fighter who deserves to be here. I don't know why Bruno Silva's still in the UFC. He had his wave of, being a solid fighter, being considered a solid fighter. But these 2 middleweights, man, the only thing I could see here is a potential fight not going the distance. Let's see what that looks like. So Marc-Andre minus 150 favorite, Bruno Silva plus 120. If for whatever reason you're on the Bruno Silva side, go 120. I mean, I could totally see a handicapper or somebody you follow saying, hey, it's dog or bust here. I get it. I'm not on that thought process. So total rounds under 2.5 is minus 150. Under 1.5, under 1.5 is plus 140. Maybe a little bit of a stretch there, but there's value in under 1.5, man. These guys are messy. These guys are going to go out there and be messy. Bruno Silva by knockout plus 220. I don't like it. Fight to go the distance, no, is minus 200. I I don't think there's enough value there. It was like minus 150, minus 110. I'd say that's a steal, but minus 200. I don't know, man. This could just be a sloppy ass fight for 15 minutes, or someone could get starched. It's really tough. This is just degeneracy. Any fighter to win by knockout, yes, is minus 150. That's not bad either. That is not bad. Finish only winner, minus 120 for Mark, minus 110 for Bruno. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of this fight. I say pass. I maybe I throw a round line thing in if I'm drinking and I'm not using my head and I have money to throw, but I don't like this fight at all, guys. The pick's Mark Andre. Navajo Sterling, Ivan Erslan. All right, guys. Yeah, this is another rough one. I am big on Navajo Sterling. I think he's very good. I think he's a very good striker. I don't think his last fight proved a lot. But if there's something that 2025 has shown us is don't go with the undefeated prospect, right? And we continue to break the rules. I continue to break my own rules because ever since Peyton Talbot got starched, he didn't get starched. Ever since Peyton Talbot got dominated, I'll say that. It's been downhill for prospects. Holy shit. And UFC debuts have been shit. Undefeated fighters have been shit. And this is concerning, being that Navajo Sterling's coming in here. I'm all over him, and he's a minus 300 favorite. It's concerning. I don't like him at minus 300, guys. This shouldn't be a minus 300 type of fight for Navajo. Ivan Erslan, plus 225. That's good value if you like him. I just think he's so dangerous early. And I don't see Navajo getting knocked out early. I don't see it happening. But if there's someone who could do it, it's Erslan. So let's take a look. Plus 225 for Erslan, minus 300 for Sterling. Total rounds. I do like round lines. I like the under here. Under 2.5 is minus 145. I like that because I think both of these guys have knockout potential. And I think Navajo Sterling could just break down Erslan. We haven't seen Erslan really get finished like that too many times. But it could happen. Sterling by knockout plus 100. I really like that. That might have to parlay that with something. Erslan by knockout is plus 475. There's something there. Fight to go the distance, no, minus 200. Might as well take the Bruno Silva line for that. Any fighter to win by knockout, yes, is minus 165. Finish only winner, Sterling minus 375. Erslan plus 260. If you think Navajo Sterling just outstrikes him and takes Erslan to a decision, I think the finish only winner for Erslan plus 260 is really good. I think that's really good. I do think Navajo Sterling does have finishing potential. I don't like that line at minus 375 for him here. But yeah, interesting. Yeah, Erslan's getting a little disrespected here. And again, back to the whole prospect thing, it's just not the thing right now. Erslan round one is at 1100, guys. So Ivan Erslan to come out there and knock out Sterling in the first round plus 1100. Ooh, that you got to take a look at that at least. You got to take a look at that. That guy comes out and he's throwing everything. But Sterling is very defensive. So I don't know. Another tough one. I do have Sterling. I'm not going to take his money line. I might take him by knockout. I think that's the best bet here. But if you want a long shot, you want a prop, Erslan round one, not even Erslan knockout. I say Erslan round one. I think that's where he really has the opportunity. Plus 1100. Guys, I might throw money on that right now. Modestas Bukauskas, Ian Cutelaba. This is a tough one. Another one, man. These fights, the matchmaking here is good. The matchmaking here is good. All right. Modestas Bukauskas, in my opinion, the better striker. Somewhat durable guy. Cutelaba, just not trustworthy, guys. I don't like betting for or betting against Cutelaba. That's just the reality of where we are. And I know I'm so wish-washy. And we haven't even gotten to the main card. And for me, the main card is probably the hardest main card to call this year. I mean, there are some fucking 50-50s on that puppy. But either way, let me see these odds here. Bukauskas minus 115, Cutelaba minus 110. Like I said, I don't like betting for or against Cutelaba. I think he really needs to wrestle in this fight. I think Bukauskas is the better striker. I think Bukauskas could find something at any time. I think any of these guys could find something at any time, right? Cutelaba's proven that he could finish people, and he could be finished, right? I could finish or I could get chinned. Bukauskas, kind of the same thing. Um, Cutelaba by knockout plus 180. Bukauskas by knockout plus 260. Total rounds under 2.5 is minus 165. I kind of like that round line. I could see this fight get finishing early. Yeah, I really don't see this fight going to decision unless Cutelaba really initiates the wrestling, which again, it's hit or miss with this guy. This guy comes in sometimes and he wants to street fight. He wants to make it scrappy. He wants to be a dog. And then he could come in and just shoot, and wrestle for 15 minutes. And we don't know what we're going to get. However, if Bukauskas could get away from the wrestling, I think he has the edge. I think he's going to be better striking. I think he's the rangier fighter. He's taller. He has the reach advantage. Yeah, man. I think Bukauskas just picks his shots. I think that's what's going to make the difference here. But if Cutelaba makes this fight what he wants to make it, then Bukauskas could have a problem. But Bukauskas is the pick. I think if Cutelaba's initiating a lot of wrestling, then I lean decision. But if these guys are just out there being scrappy, I like just taking this fight. Someone wins by knockout. Again, I still lean Bukauskas, but I don't like putting money on this. So I might go the fight ends by TKO KO in this fight. Jessica Andrade, Jasmine Jasudavicius. I can never say her name. Jasudavicius. All right, guys, this is the most comfortable breakdown I have in this card. I haven't been on Jessica Andrade for a minute. It's just this is mixed martial arts now. You know, Jessica Andrade 7 years ago, it's a different story, but just coming in with that power overhand knockout punch is not going to happen. And it's not going to happen when you're 5'1" and your opponent's 5'7". It's not going to happen when you're dealing with someone who's fighting in their own country, right? Jasmine is Canadian. Jasmine has the height advantage, the reach advantage, and Jasmine could just circle around Jessica Andrade, and that's what she's going to do. She's just going to play with her. She needs to just use that octagon in its entirety. She needs to have her back up against the cage and move out. She needs to circle out and not let Jessica Andrade come in with that huge hook, that overhand. That's all we're waiting for. And I can't bet money on that. I can't count on Jessica Andrade as a plus 240 underdog to just be wailing on Jasmine and hopefully land the punch. And if it happens, it happens, but I'm not betting on it. What I do like is Jasmine keeping the distance, establishing a jab, hopefully using some body kicks and just circling the octagon. And Jessica Andrade could keep that center control. She could keep it. When Jasmine's out striking her three times to her one, I'll take it all day. And I think that's what really happens here. And if we find ourselves on the ground, Jasmine's pretty dangerous. We've seen Andrade get submitted. Do I think that's the way it happens? Not really. But I like Jasmine potentially getting a couple takedowns in this fight. But again, just circling around, using her distance. I think that's enough for her. Total rounds under 2.5 plus 125. Let's see what fight to go the distances. Yeah, so actually works. They're expecting a finish here. The odds makers. Fight to go the distance, no, is minus 110. Fight to go the distance is minus 120. I do think Jasmine takes this by decision, but the odds have me thinking something else. So Jasmine by decision plus 125. Jasmine by knockout plus 700. Jasmine by submission is plus 300. Man, like I said, Andrade has been submitted before. I really didn't think that was going to be the route. I don't think that Jasmine, I don't know. I just didn't think that Jasmine's game plan was going to be too wrestle heavy. I think she'll get some clinch control, things like that. Of course, if she takes her down, that's nice. But I think just keep her distance, man. Keep her distance, because the last thing you want to do is close distance with Jessica Andrade and get caught. But then again, who the hell am I? Let's see what else. Finish only winner, Jasmine minus 220. Decision only winner. Yeah, Jasmine's minus 525. Yeah, Jasmine's the clear favorite here. Everybody has it the same. I'm throwing her on a parlay at minus 300. It is what it is. I'm that confident with her. Yeah, we're doing it. It is what it is. Maybe a club and sub. Maybe that's what people are expecting, but pretty clear. Oh, Mike Malott, Charles Radtke. This one's tough, man. I initially had Mike Malott with Mark Andre at a parlay, and now in hindsight, that sounds fucking insane. Against Charles Radtke, both of these guys, um, they're good. Both of them are good. When you break it down, I think Mike Mallett's better. I think he's more technical. I think he has the better striking, but he just doesn't have a lot of power. And my fear here is that Charles Radtke comes in and he just has a big moment and he finishes Mike Malott at home. This is a scary one for me. This is a scary one for me. And I think Radtke's being slept on. And I'm one of the people who initially kind of slept on it. I saw the Mike Malott matchup and I was like, oh, I like it. I like it. And now the more I think about it, and there's still some film to watch on my part, I think Radtke has a good chance of winning this fight. And I might go dog here. I think dog is good value. Yeah, Mallet minus 210. I think I saw him as a minus 250. So I think this line is getting closer. Radtke plus 165. Yeah, man. I think Radtke money line is has great value. If you're on the Mallet side, hey, go for it. But minus 210, I don't think so. I just think this line's not accurate. I think this fight's a lot closer than they're making it seem. Over 2.5 rounds, plus 110. Under 2.5 rounds, minus 150. Little shaky, but I can't see a finish here. Mike Malott, knockout, plus 275. Radtke, knockout, plus 400. Man, there's value there. Mallett's chin's been tested, man. And again, technical guy. And that's why I'm scared, because I think Mike could come out and just not ease his way into a victory, but just stay safe for a long period of time, break down Charles, and maybe we see something like that. But I really like Radtke by knockout plus 400. Radtke money line plus 165. I think there's a lot of value there. And then a finish only winner, Radtke plus 170. I think that's really good. I don't think Mike finishes this fight. I think Mike finds a way to decision here. Decision only winner, Mike at minus 200, Radtke at plus 150. I agree with those odds. But yeah, man, I'm kind of leaning underdog here. That's I just spit all over my phone. My God. Radtke plus 165. The pick is Radtke within the distance. Yeah, I think I really like a Radtke knockout for this fight. I'm 50-50 here, man. I'm really shaky. Wow, I had no idea how wishy-washy I was going to be in this video. But yeah, I'm taking Charles Radtke here. Benoit Saint Denis, Kyle Prepolec. Guys, what the heck? Benoit Saint Denis, look, everyone's shitting on this guy now, and this is the start of the main card. He lost to Dustin Poirier. I'm pretty sure he had that bad staph infection. He got caught. I didn't judge it too much. Then he goes on and fights. What's this? Renato Moicano. I just had a brain fart. Renato Moicano, Manny Moicano, and he gets dominated. And that was like the most impressive victory from Manny Moicano. I mean, he showed guys what they're supposed to do when they're mounted on somebody. He showed what you're supposed to do when you take somebody to the ground. It was just bizarre. I mean, Benoit Saint Denis probably still healing some wounds from his face, how bad he was cut up and damaged and how many elbows he had taken. It was ugly. So now he comes in. He's supposed to fight Joel Alvarez. I was going to take Joel. I love Joel. I think he's nasty. I wish he would fight more. I'm scared he's going to like bypass his prime and not do enough in the UFC, but it is what it is. He gets injured, unfortunately. I think it was a hand injury. And now he gets a Gamrot opportunity, apparently. That's what Gamrot's saying. He denies Gamrot, and I'm telling you right now, Gamrot probably would have just fucking held him down for 15 minutes. And now we get Kyle Prepolec. And I saw some odds. I don't have it here. It's not on the Hard Rock app, but I think Benoit Saint Denis coming in as like over a minus 800 favorite. And what I'm going to tell you is fuck that. Stay away from that. No need to touch a Benoit Saint Denis money line. I'll tell you that. You want to get fancy with a prop? Sure. But stay away from money line. If anything, go Prepolec. Hope that Prepolec lands some shot. He's Canadian. He's at home. Who knows? He lands a lucky shot. It's MMA. And Benoit Saint Denis is dealing with some tough losses. But do not go Benoit Saint Denis minus 800 or anything ridiculous like that. What I really do like is Benoit Saint Denis within the distance. If we could get plus money on like a round one finish, or something like that. Anything plus money, I'll take Benoit Saint Denis within the distance. If it's like a minus 200 for him to win in round 1 or 2, F that too. I'll stay away from it. Maybe a round line, but Benoit Saint Denis should win this fight. He is the better fighter. Again, some tough matchups and some tough losses. I still think he has what it takes to be somewhat of a contender in this division. It's the hardest division in the UFC, the lightweight division stacked. But Benoit Saint Denis is good, man, and he should have no problem, especially with a full training camp against Prepolec. But I just can't lay that type of those odds make no sense to me. It needs to be a lot closer. We need to hunt some sort of value. Again, I'm sorry, but it's just not on my app, so I can't hunt it with you. But I think there's plays in this fight. I just have to find them. But Prepolec should get starched here. Alexa Grasso, Natalia Silva. I can't believe it, but I'm most confident in female fights today. That's I don't know what it is. It's just that's what makes the most sense. Guys, I've never been on Alexa Grasso. For those of you who've been watching me for a long time, I faded her in all 3 fights against Valentina Shevchenko. First one, I said Valentina. Guess what? She won. Okay. Second one, I said no, Valentina's going to come back. Boom. Close fight. Whatever. That little bullshit draw. Then fight number 3, I was like, no, Valentina's going to do it this time. And she got dominated. And I've just never been too high on her skill set. And yes, she showed that she could strike with Valentina Shevchenko, but I think it had more to say about Valentina striking than Alexa Grasso's. And then her ground game, yeah, she cut that submission after Valentina gave her back off some spinning freaking kick. But what happened in their last fight? She got dominated for 15 minutes. I'm sorry, 25 minutes on the ground on her back with nothing to show for it. Maybe 2 shitty submission attempts. So, yeah, Alexa Grasso, I'm not having it. She's a plus 175 underdog here. Natalia Silva, minus 220. I'll take Natalia Silva with the minus 220. I think she's more active on her feet. I think she's going to bounce around Alexa Grasso. I think she's going to land some shots. This fight should go to decision. It should be 15 minutes of Natalia Silva dancing around Alexa Grasso, picking her apart. Alexa Grasso is going to have some moments. I'll tell you that because she's not a bad fighter. I'm just not all over her. But I think Natalia Silva takes this by decision. Again, minus 220, maybe a parlay. I'm pretty confident in her. Over 2.5 is minus 500. Like I said, I'm almost certain this is a decision. Silva by decision, minus 130. So if you feel comfortable with Natalia Silva by decision, it's minus 130. Grasso by decision, plus 300 if you're on the Grasso side, if you like the dog here. I'll take the money line. I think that's your best bet, plus 175. Hey, that's a steal if you really like Grasso. Fight to go the distance, minus 350 for yes. No is plus 260. I don't see a finish anywhere here, man. I'm not enough to bet on it, right? Of course there could be that sub or the good shot but none of these girls are packing a punch that way, in my opinion. I think they're both technically sound, so I think they're safe fighters. Finish only winner, Silva minus 155, Grasso plus 110. Decision only winner, Silva minus 275. Yep. I think I'm on Silva by decision. I'll throw her money line in a parlay, but that's about it, guys. Silva's a pick. Woo-wee. And now we start dealing with issues, guys. Jose Aldo, Ayman Zahabi. Guys, what the heck is this fight? And as a gambler, as a fan, it's just how far can we go with Jose Aldo? How far? I'm sure there's people who thought he was going to retire after the McGregor fight. And here we are, 10 years later. What the heck are we doing? What the heck are we doing? How old is Aldo for real? With that being said, Aldo still looks freaking good. He had a second run at bantamweight. Kind of fakes retirement. And then he's back again. This is the Terminator. You just can't get him out. And I'm all for it. But when do we draw the line? I'm going to say you draw the line when he comes in and he just doesn't perform. And that's how it is in MMA. It's like your performances are good, you're in up trajectory, or you're just kind of the same fighter, and then bam, one fight, you're done. And then you could go on 5 more fights and you're done. You're just not there anymore. We don't see a lot of like up and down in MMA as far as like talent and at least the performances you're putting out. Jose Aldo's still there. And yeah, he took that shit loss to Mario Batista. Mario Batista held him, clinched him up against the cage. Merab couldn't take him down. Jose Aldo with the output, with easily 15 minutes of cardio. A guy who has the output to beat anybody. Nasty leg kicks. Don't see them as often, but they're there. Someone with high fight IQ, someone with a lot of experience, someone. Nobody could tell me Jose Aldo doesn't have a chin. Yeah, Conor McGregor did what he did. When's that happen again? So when we look at Ayman Zahabi, I see someone who's a good striker. I see someone who I feel is a little more gun shy than Jose Aldo. I feel like it's someone who's not going to grapple in a matchup like this. So, yes, he's Canadian. Maybe the judges give him something, but I don't really see a reason to fade Jose Aldo. Now, am I going crazy on picking Jose Aldo here? Mm-mm-mm. No, I don't really see myself betting on this fight just because maybe it's time for Jose Aldo. Maybe we watch this fight and it is the downhill start for Jose Aldo. But the pick is going to be Jose Aldo. I am siding with the favorite here with good reason. I just haven't seen enough to not side with him. The second best featherweight of all time. And 2 months ago, I would have said he may be the best featherweight of all time. But Volk did what he did, so now he's the second best featherweight of all time. But this is one of the most dominant mixed martial arts champions there's ever been, and probably has had the best life expectancy in fighting, of course, better than anybody. He's still around, guys. He's still around. Jose Aldo. Juking retirement. It's just nuts. So Aldo minus 230 favorite. I think that line's not good, man. I just think it's too much of a spread. I want this line to close. If this line closes and I could get Aldo at like minus 150, I'll take it. But at minus 230, guys, that's not the value. If you're on the Zahabi side, Zahabi. I don't know what Zahabi. I'm making up names here. Zahabi side plus 180. And again, if that line moves closer, he's gonna lose value too. Because plus 180 I like, but if he's like plus 110, if you're on the side, that's one thing. Now, here's my only thing. If for whatever reason, Aldo's not himself, I could see Zahabi winning in decision, right? And if Zahabi wins by decision, plus 275. That's something. Zahabi plus 275. That might hit my long shot parlay because I think this fight is very close. And I think we might even see a split. So if Aldo has the output, but all of a sudden Zahabi lands the bigger shots, has a little bit of clinch control like we saw with Mario Batista, we're in Canada. It's a close fight. So I am taking Aldo. I'm not putting any money on it. I think the money is with the underdog here. I like the decision bets. So fight to go the distance, minus 350. It's nuts, man. Nuts. Oh, God. Total rounds under 2.5 plus 325. If for whatever reason you think someone finds a finish, guys, I think this fight's all decision. Yeah, money's on the underdog here, guys. Yep, money's on the underdog for sure. Yep, but I am taking Aldo. It is what it is. That's the pick. But that is not a confident pick, guys. Be very careful with that fight. Valentina Shevchenko. Man, honestly, the money is really with the dogs this week. It really is with the dogs. So, Valentina Shevchenko, man and Fiorot. Let's talk about Valentina Shevchenko. Historic career, debatably behind Amanda Nunes. She is the best female mixed martial artist. I put her over Ronda Rousey. Yes. An insane amount of defenses, an insane amount of talent, someone who continues to get better. We've seen improvements in her game, which is insane. Yes, she's taken hits with her speed. She's not as comfortable striking, I feel, and we noticed that against Alexa Grasso because she legit wrestled for 25 minutes, which nobody would have expected. But that's that championship mentality. That's what I like about Valentina. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to beat the fighter I'm facing. I'm going to beat them how I can. I'm not going to just try to bring out my strengths. No, I'm going to utilize, the technique. I'm going to utilize the strategy, and I'm going to, bring out your weaknesses. And when you have someone like that, you have a real champion. That's what a real champion is. If Valentina Shevchenko would have just gone out against Alexa Grasso again for 25 minutes and tried to outstrike her, when obviously there was issues in the first two fights, I'm like, what are you doing? No, let's find the path to victory. And she did. She bested her, and it was easy. And I think when you have someone like Fiorot, who's very good, but very untested. And one thing I've been seeing in the last 2 weeks, like, oh, the Blanchfield fight. guys, Erin Blanchfield and Valentina Shevchenko are on different planets, guys. Different planets, different skill sets, different amounts of experience. Just guys, you cannot compare. And you know what? I'll say here, I've never really been on Erin Blanchfield. I've never really been on. I mean, the little flurry of punches she brings in. I mean, she fought Fiorot. She barely went for takedowns, and it says a lot about Fiorot as well. But shitty head movement. I mean, guys, Erin Blanchfield did not have a good fight against Fiorot. I'm not saying Fiorot wouldn't win that fight if Blanchfield had a better fight, but the game plan wasn't there. Again, her striking is just mid at best. I mean, guys, that is not what you need to be comparing. And with that being said, what I am going to say is Fiorot is untested. Fiorot has not fought anybody like Valentina Shevchenko, which again, it's hard to clone someone to fight like Valentina Shevchenko. But then the other argument is Valentina Shevchenko is not the same Valentina Shevchenko we had 5 to 7 years ago. So where are we? What are we doing? I really believed for a split second I was going to take Fiorot in this fight because she's a big striker. She's heavy. She's long. And she has phenomenal takedown defense. And to be honest, we haven't really seen her grapple, but apparently it's a weapon of hers. Apparently it's back there somewhere if she needs it. So now she's not gonna tower over Shevchenko, but she's definitely bigger than her. She's gonna outsize her. She's more muscular than her. She's stronger than her. I think it's safe to say. Does she have the reach advantage? I'd assume so, but now I can't see in my slide. But I think Fiorot's gonna really be tested because I think Shevchenko's gonna do a few things. I think Shevchenko's gonna have head movement, which we saw that jab of Fiorot just land on Blanchfield all night long. And then Blanchfield will just rush in and clinch. I think Shevchenko is going to find ways to get to the ground, but she's not just going to shoot helpless takedowns. She's not just going to hug and go for a trip. No, silly. Shevchenko's going to land some kicks. Shevchenko's going to land some body shots. Shevchenko's going to land some combinations. And then, guess what? When she starts mixing it up and Fiorot doesn't know what's coming, then she's going to go for a clean takedown. And I'm not saying Fiorot won't shoot up a couple of times, but if we find ourselves in a fight where Valentina Shevchenko could take her down 1 minute in a round or hold her up against the cage for a minute and a half in a round, now we're looking at a closer fight where I do think Fiorot should have the striking advantage. But is she really going to just like outclass Shevchenko? I don't know. I'm not buying that narrative yet. And yes, Grasso has had success against Shevchenko, but Grasso is debatably a boxer at this point. So I understand the line. I get it. Shevchenko, the champion, all the experience. When is the decline of Shevchenko? Same thing. The same kind of argument I had with Aldo. And maybe I'm stuck on these legends and Hall of Famers. Maybe I'm stuck on them. And maybe that's going to be my weakness this week, But I don't buy it. I'm ultimately picking Shevchenko at plus 120. I'm putting a unit. I'm not saying it's a steal, but I'm saying that's hella value. If you're roll minus 145, everybody's going to tell you that's the right pick. Everybody's on it. And for the reasons I told you, she is a good striker. She is strong and she could defend the takedown. And I think that last point is the reason everybody's on her, because it is going to be extremely hard for Valentina Shevchenko to not only take her down, but keep her down. Because every time Fiorot's ass hits the canvas, she hops right back up. Or she'll freaking reverse a position and end up on top. And if that happens with her strength and her power, Shevchenko could be in trouble. But I trust that Shevchenko is doing enough of the championship work, that she has the right people around her, the right coaches, they prep her properly, and she could hopefully break down this fight. What I am going to say, this is a close freaking fight. I'm not saying Shevchenko goes out there and she looks the best she's ever looked. She wins 4 rounds. I'm not saying that. I really do think this could be a split decision. This is like a 3-2 type of thing. This is the judges are either split or a 1 round is the difference. But this is a tough fight. And we saw Fiorot handle a lot of pressure from Blanchfield, which was great, right? She handled it and she looked good in rounds 4 and 5. It was a 5-round fight. Valentina Shevchenko is just not going to charge Fiorot. Valentina Shevchenko is going to let the fight come to her if she needs to. And Valentina Shevchenko is a champion. So if she could point fight for 25 minutes, chop Fiorot's legs, land body shots, establish somewhat of a jab. Hopefully it lands because she is going to have some problems, closing that distance. But it's a close fight. It's not just going to come to Fiorot. And everybody's saying this about Fiorot's power, this, that, the other. How many people we are watching her finish? And someone like Valentina Shevchenko, I just don't think she finishes her, at least not by knockout, right? And it would be a first. It would be one of those championship performances where she just came to play. She really wants the belt. But that's the end of my breakdown. I'm going with Valentina Shevchenko. I like it by decision. I think that's the right call, but it's a close freaking fight. So we move on. The main event of the evening, and this breakdown is probably going to be shorter than the last one. Belal Muhammad. I've been on this guy for a while. Not excitingly, not with a smile on my face, but the reality is talent is talent. And us as fans and us as handicappers and us as gamblers, we got to realize what works in the UFC. And sometimes boring works. Most times boring works. We're just talking about Valentina Shevchenko wrestling for 25 minutes to get her belt back. Guess what? Championship mentality. And I'm going to say the same about Belal Muhammad. He does the right things at the right times. And honestly, I think he's getting better. In the last few years, he started training with Khabib and his camp. Started doing the right things. We saw him finish Sean Brady a couple of years ago. The guy's getting better. And yeah, it's not exciting. Yeah. He's not coming out here. He's not going to do a spinning wheel kick. He's not knocking people out. He's not submitting people even. But he's winning. He applies the pressure. He lands his shots. He takes you down. He could hold you down. And he gets his hands raised. It's that simple. And now we have Jack Della Maddalena. And if there's one thing I feel like I've said in this video several times is I've never been on that fighter. Oh, I don't think they're all that. Jack Della Maddalena, and I'm going to be honest, and maybe it's just as much as everybody else, but there's quite a few prospects I see, and I'm like, that person's going to be champion. The first time I saw Diego Lopez fight, I said that guy's going to be champion. Again, he lost the fight. That's fine. But I said it. I said that kid's going to be champion because he was so freaking good. There was that, I don't know. You just see it in the fighter sometimes, right? Jack Della Maddalena is this guy where everybody's so high on him. And I've always kind of been like, yeah, he's good. But I really never thought he'd be here. I really never thought so. And when he fought Gilbert Burns, not shitting on Gilbert Burns at all, but I thought so even less. Because I really thought Gilbert Burns was going to win by decision. And then he found that finish. And that's when I kind of gave Jack Della Maddalena some credit. I was like, damn, you're durable. You're a monster. You had a broken arm and you finished this guy in the third round. That knee was nasty. And Gilbert Burns is good. And Gilbert Burns has experience. But Gilbert Burns been declining for a couple of years. It's the age. And he's had some wear and tear. He had his moments of championship contendership. But now Jack Della Maddalena, everybody talks real high of this guy. And everybody's on his grappling. And everybody thinks he has a lot of finishing potential, which I'd agree on. I say Jack Della Maddalena, his biggest opportunity in this fight is catching Belal Muhammad. And what a vague ass comment, right? Like you could say that about any fight. Like, yeah, Fiorot's biggest opportunity is catching Valentina. Yeah, no shit, Mr. Casual. But it's the reality. I don't think he's winning rounds. He wins a round if he has a big moment. Another obvious ass statement. But the majority of the rounds, I'm going to say 3.5 to 4 minutes of every round, I feel like Belal Muhammad's going to be winning. It's that simple. And it's going to be with pressure, with octagon control, with takedowns, holding him down, holding him against the fence, landing some weak-ass jab that my niece could take. That's what Belal Muhammad's going to do. But that's what wins fights. So now, in that minute and a half where Jack Della Maddalena, and obviously it's not just a minute and a half, guys. It's split it within the rounds. There's moments, right? You win moments. And when he's winning his moments, when he's landing his combinations, when he lands a good punch, if he's able to hurt Belal Muhammad, if he's able, when he gets taken down, to shoot back up, Jack Della Maddalena has a better fight. I think this fight goes all 5. I think Jack's going to be tested. He goes all 5. I think Belal Muhammad's durable enough. But here's my concern. Belal Muhammad, 2 things actually are concerning. Number 1, Belal Muhammad has come out and said he is not going to grapple, that he's just going to strike. Listen here. If for whatever reason Belal Muhammad is serious in that statement, we need to bet the house on Jack Della Maddalena. Bet the house. Grab the deed. And again, guys, gamble responsibly. That's a joke. That's a joke. Joke. Gamble responsibly. Please do not bet your house. But again, bet the house on Jack Della Maddalena. Because Bilal Muhammad has no business striking with Jack Della Maddalena for 25 minutes. In that case, yes, Bilal could land some punches and get a few combinations going, but Jack Della Maddalena will knock him out. He will knock him out. So Bilal Muhammad needs to wrestle. And if Bilal Muhammad wrestles, I think he is going to have success. Jack Della Maddalena gets taken down. He's a good grappler, but he gets taken down. And that's an issue in itself. Now, when Bilal Muhammad takes Jack Della Maddalena down, we saw how dominant Bilal could be. Bilal could get a lot of control time. Bilal could land some strikes, get some ground and pound going, change position. But here comes my second concern. And the concern comes when he fought Leon Edwards. There was a point in that fight, and I had like 4 units on Bilal Muhammad. I was so certain he was going to beat Leon. But there was a point in that fight where Leon Edwards took Bilal's back. And for a split second, my freaking dino nuggets and taquitos were coming up my stomach because there was a point in time where I was like, is Leon Edwards going to submit this motherfucker? Is this real life right now? And Bilal Muhammad was in a little bit of trouble. And guys, that was Leon Edwards. And Leon Edwards had no reason to be getting Bilal Muhammad. Jeez, what is up with me? Bilal Muhammad in any sort of submission trouble. And this is what I will say. I'm a fan of Craig Jones. I follow Craig Jones. Craig Jones is training Jack Della Maddalena. And I'm not saying just because Craig Jones is in your camp, you're going to go out and just submit everybody. But with this guy's elite grappling skills, with Craig Jones in his corner, if Bilal Muhammad gives up position like he gave up against Leon Edwards, guys, be freaking careful. Jack Della Maddalena by submission. Jack Della Maddalena by submission. So this is what I'm going to say about this fight. Let's look at these odds, right? That's what you're here for. Bilal Muhammad minus 220, Jack Della plus 175. I think the odds are exactly where they need to be. If that spreads any wider, I'd probably still take Bilal for a little bit, up to like minus 250. But if it closes, I'm jumping on Bilal with multiple units. Bilal's my pick, obviously, guys. I have my concerns, but it is what it is. The round lines over 2.5 is minus 425. Under is plus 275. If you like Jack Della early, you think he comes out and he knocks out Bilal, plus 275 looks nice. Over 3.5 minus 275, plus over 3.5 is plus 190. And then 4.5 under is plus 150. Over is minus 200. If you think this fight finishes within the distance, I really like plus 150 for under 4.5 rounds. That's a really good freaking line. That's a really good line. Might dabble. All right, Bilal Muhammad by decision minus 105. I think that's basically where it goes. We're just not used to Bilal Muhammad finishing people, but sometimes when these guys become champions, they really do level up, so you never know. Jack Della by decision is plus 500. I agree with that. Like I said, I think Bilal's winning 70% of this fight. When we talk about points, when we talk about control, when we talk about, who's pressuring, who's moving forward, who's landing the takedowns, it's Bilal Muhammad. So Jack by knockout plus 375. Jack by submission plus 2,000. Jack Della Maddalena by submission is plus 2,000. Guys, I just gave you my long shot. $25 to 525. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Is that some sort of sick joke with the position Bilal gave up? Or even some crazy front choke Jack throws? Guys, I'm taking that. You got it here. If you watch 48 minutes of this video or even fast forward, chances are the majority of you fast forward, you got a long shot. Thank you either way for the support. Fight to go the distance, yes is minus 180, no is plus 135. Any fighter to win by knockout plus 225, yes. No is minus 325. To win by submission is plus 650. I like the Jack Della Maddalena long shot. And then let's see, Bilal Muhammad. Yeah, man, if you think Jack wins this fight, especially in the later rounds, Jack in the third round, any finish is set plus 1750. Fourth round, 2250. Fifth round, 3,000. My Lord. Bilal Muhammad and over 3.5 rounds, yes, is minus 125. Bilal Muhammad winning and over 2.5 rounds. And again, this is like basically a parlay they put together themselves. This is my Hard Rock app. Minus 155. I really like that one. Might take that. Because I don't think Bilal Muhammad wins within a round. Yeah. Bilal Muhammad to win and over 1.5 rounds is minus 190. Yeah, those are all good. Winning round and method. Man, this is there's long shot potential here. But the pick is Bilal Muhammad. And guys, I'm going to end it there. I gave you some reasoning for all these guys. I tried to break down the card. This is kind of a tough card, but there is a lot of value. And guys, if you want my picks, again, I do more research as the week comes by. It's only Tuesday when I'm releasing this. So there's so much more for me to watch and break down. I gave you my picks early. It is what it is. I'll break them down, but be sure to subscribe, be sure to comment, be sure to like, and go subscribe to my Instagram. $4.99 a month. I mean, come on. When's the last time you had a cup of coffee? It's like fucking $6 at Starbucks. You could pay monthly to get my bets, and we're plus 38 units in the year. So Bilal Muhammad, Valentina Shevchenko. I am going Jose Aldo. I am going Natalia Silva. I'm going BSD. 50-50, and I could see myself switching, but for now, I'm going Charles Radtke. I'm going Jasudavicius. I'm going Bukauskas. I'm going Navajo Sterling. I'm going Marc-Andre Barriault. I'm going Jung Young Lee. And I'm going Bekzat Almakhan. Guys, that's my official UFC 315 video. Let me know what you think below. Be sure to follow. You have a good one. Sayonara.